Welcome to Inside Out. During the post-war economic boom in the 1950s, America's largest corporations experienced a problem. They had the capacity to create new jobs, but struggled to find the best individuals to fill them. And so the executive search market was born. Today, this industry is a thriving and highly competitive trade aimed at providing the world's leading companies with the fuel they need to grow and outwit their sector competitors. I'm joined in studio by Steve Lucas, founder of a British-based workforce management company, Skillstream, and by local specialist Anne Pratt, director of leading recruitment consulting agency, Pratt and Associates. Let's go inside out on the local and international realities of the executive recruitment sphere. Welcome, Anne.
Thank you.
Steve, welcome.
Thank you.
I'll give each of you an opportunity. Please just give us a sense of your business and just a sense of what it is that your key competency is in that particular sector. Anne.
Thanks, Pat. We're positioned at the premium end of the executive search market in South Africa. So our strategic positioning is about being global, world-class. We have alliances with an international firm with 50 international partners. And in South Africa, we handle top-level strategic appointments for private, public sectors and also state-owned enterprises.
Steve?
We have a software business that is predominantly for the management of temporary and contract staff, but they would be people as high up as CFOs, COOs within organisations. We have businesses in about 70 countries around the world. And today we're managing somewhere in the region of about 120 to 160,000 placements a year.
And I've got a sense from Steve in terms of number of placements. How many people do you place on average in a year?
Pat, we really look at strategic top end. So it's 35 to 40 assignments a year. It's very niche and it's really top end. It's really looking at the leaders that are going to lead the high impact organizations in South Africa.
And sectors?
We work across the range. So it's telecoms, financial services, FMCG, also NGOs, not-for-profit, and then we've done work for certain ministers in the public sector.
And yours is quite cross-sectoral as well then?
We reach many areas, but I think historically that's really been driven out of somewhere like finance and banking initially.
How did the recession affect your business?
The recession affected our business in the sense that we saw probably about a 25% reduction in the number of placements happening. But in the temporary and contract world, many of the businesses still do require temporary and contract workers. They're the real engine that drives many organisations. And so it didn't stop, unlike permanent headcount freeze, where organisations might have just said, we are stopping hiring for the next 6 months. What actually happened was they tended to let contractors finish their assignments and then not rehire. So we saw a more gradual tail off. We're now, I'm pleased to be able to report, seeing an improvement again, and things are growing quite rapidly.
And your experience, Anne?
You know, Pat, it's an interesting anomaly because in tough times, often the style of lead at the top has to change. So to be honest with you, we didn't see a dip last year.
Some research was done by Oakleaf, and I know they're affiliated to you as well. Let's call this up on the screen, and maybe you can begin by talking us through some of this, Steve.
Oakleaf is an organisation that, again, sort of work within Anne's sector of the market in the UK. They have really demonstrated the commitment to the industry by funding some research, which many people like to take anecdotal evidence, but nobody's really gone to the marketplace and actually approached directors, HR directors, to the level and detail that Oakleaf did. And this work, really, which was done at the end of 2008, I think is probably one of the best pieces in terms of demonstrating the thinking at what was a very critical time for the world. If we remember back to what was happening in financial markets then, we were really in the middle of a major meltdown, and I think this was a great barometer of how people's thinking was at the time, and probably a good reflection. It'd be interesting to hear Anne's views, but a good reflection of what's having to happen in this sector for people to take account of how they'll recruit going forward.
Is this what you experienced, Anne? And is it something that you believe will continue to be the case?
Yeah, I think there are certainly key attributes here that are very critical. Leadership skills, certainly relationship management, that goes hand in hand. I think what is possibly a little different here, we've seen a far greater emphasis on financial knowledge and understanding. And that doesn't mean to say CEOs or FDs getting to the top, but certainly in tough times, the demand for CEOs that have good, very strong financial understanding is stronger. Greater emphasis on, pulling in the belt and delivering the numbers.